Remember this: children often judge their parents before they become parents themselves. And then, without you even realizing it, it happens. There is no announcement, no grand warning, no slamming door to signal the change. But one day, you look at your children and you realize they no longer look at you as their shelter. They don't see you as the safe harbor anymore, not as the person who held their hand when the world felt too big. Instead, they look at you as a story that needs to be analyzed, a past that must be put under a microscope. And suddenly, your children become your judges. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens in the silences, in a look that has grown a little colder, in a question asked with a sharp edge, in a sigh that no longer seeks comfort from you, but demands explanations. Why did you do that? They ask. Why weren't you different? Why didn't you know better? Simple questions, but they weigh more than lead, and it hurts. It hurts in a place deep inside where you didn't even know pain could exist. Because this isn't a pain of the body, it is a pain of meaning, a questioning of your entire purpose as a parent, as a human being. Because you know what they never saw. They weren't there for the nights you stayed awake, staring at the ceiling with fear, clutching your chest, praying that tomorrow would be just a little bit better. They don't know about the choices you had to make between two evils, simply because good wasn't an option at the time. They don't know how many tears you swallowed, choking them down so they would see you as strong, so they could sleep peacefully, believing the world was safe. You took so many steps without a map, without a manual, without any guarantee that you were doing it right. You moved forward, guided by a single compass: love. Even when that love was tangled with fear, even when you were exhausted, even when you failed. But they don't see the struggle. They only see the result. They see what is visible now. They see what was missing. They see the flaws, the cracks in the foundation, and they judge you from a place where you were never allowed to stand, the place where you are responsible for no one but yourself. They judge your silences, never knowing how much noise was screaming inside of you. They judge your absences, never knowing how many hours you worked just so they could have a place to call home. They judge your mistakes, forgetting that no one ever gave you a rehearsal for this life. You were learning as you went, and perhaps the greatest pain isn't even their judgment. It's that moment when you start to see yourself through their eyes, smaller, weaker, reduced to a list of failures, as if all your love suddenly weighs nothing, as if one mistake can erase decades of sacrifice. In the quiet of the evening, that heavy question finally surfaces, the one you never dare to say out loud. Was I a good enough parent? Listen to me closely. The truth is much kinder than their verdict. A parent is not a god. You were never meant to be all-knowing. You were never meant to be invincible. A parent is just a person, a human being who loved with what they had, with what they knew, with as much as they could carry at the time. Being a parent doesn't mean being perfect. It means getting up every single time you fall, even when no one is watching, even when no one applauds. It means carrying the weight of others' mistakes on your shoulders just so they can walk a little lighter. It means choosing for them even when you are drowning in your own doubt. Maybe one day they will understand. Maybe one day they will look past the surface and see the heart beneath the gray hair. Perhaps it will happen when they stay up through their own sleepless nights, when they have to make their own impossible choices. Or maybe they won't. And that is one of life's hardest lessons. Sometimes love goes unrecognized, but you are not defined by their verdict. You are not defined by their reproaches. You are not defined by what you didn't manage to do perfectly. You are defined by the love you gave, by your intentions, by your quiet, daily battles. If today you feel judged, if you feel like everything you've done is being questioned, remember this: children often judge their parents before they become parents themselves. One day, their silence will turn into understanding. One day, their questions will become gentler. Until then, do not condemn yourself. Do not erase your own value with your own hands. Do not reduce your life to your mistakes. You did what you could with the person you were back then. And my dear friend, sometimes that is more than enough. So, keep walking with peace, with dignity, with the love that still exists, even when it isn't spoken out loud. You are enough. You always were.